So welcome back to episode number 3 of the Beet. So on today's episode, I kind of asked you guys some questions the past few weeks about anything you'd want to know about me, and whether it's my relationships, my story, how I got to where I am, my business, anything like that. And that is purely what this episode is about. I have a list of questions that you all left for me. Thank you. And I wrote them on my very beautiful note card here. And so I will be answering them one by one, hopefully all of them before this platform kicks me off. But again, this is just to be give me the chance to reintroduce myself to those who have, I cannot speak, those who are new to following me or are old and have been following me for a long time, but maybe you never really knew me that well. So now's your chance. So without further ado, I've got my coffee here, second cup of coffee today, which I don't really drink coffee, so this is kind of a big deal. So we're gonna get started. All right, so first question is, what did you major in and where did you go to school? I went to the good old Georgia College in Milledgeville, Georgia. Go Bobcats. We don't have football, but that's okay. It's a great school. And I majored in public relations and advertising, so mass communications. I actually did go to college really wanting to study dietetics or nutrition, but Georgia College didn't really have a program at the time. I don't think they even do now. So I was kind of torn because I really loved the school and I just didn't want to transfer, but I also really wanted to pursue my passions in nutrition at the time. So it kind of ended up being where I stayed and picked something that I was also really passionate about, and I really ended up loving my major. It grew my social skills and my public speaking. I was on the radio show with a girlfriend of mine for a semester, which was so much fun. And so it was just a really cool experience. So I don't regret what I chose, but I always wonder what my life would have been like if I did actually go and get like a nutrition degree or something like that. But life comes full circle, I guess, because here I am now and I'm still pursuing what I really was originally passionate about, using the skills that I still learned in college. Where are you from? Well, I'm a born and raised Georgia peach. Very rare to find people from Atlanta who actually stay in Atlanta, but I was born here. I have family more north of the city, and I grew up with 2 brothers, one that now lives in Seattle and one that now lives in New Zealand, actually. And I'm the only middle child / girl in the family. So that had its pros and cons. But I'm from Atlanta, born and raised, have been here my whole life. I have a lot of pros and cons about the city that I love and hate, but you know what? Right now it's where my family's at and I don't really plan to go anywhere. So we will see what the future holds. That makes more sense. How did you start in health and fitness? So again, I grew up going to the chiropractor, and they really preached holistic health, functional medicine. But when I was younger, like 10, 13, 14 years old, when I started going to the chiropractor, it kind of wasn't a phenomenon then. So it really wasn't something that I thought about. And I always struggled with acne. I had acne, I could not control it. I tried everything, every topical. I went to dermatologists. I went to every single thing, and I could never figure out what it was. And finally in college, I experimented with going gluten-free, and my skin cleared right up. So I finally realized the relationship that food has in your everyday life, and that, your outside appearance as well as the inside. And I really started to connect the dots. So again, I didn't study nutrition, but I did always have that in the back of my head, wondering what if I could get into it. So I actually graduated school, went into a corporate job for about a year. To be honest, did not like it. Just was not my thing from the beginning. Just really did not enjoy it. The people were great. The experiences that I learned and the skills that I obtained were really beneficial, but to be honest, just wasn't something I was passionate about. And sitting at a desk all day for a 9 to 5 was just, I couldn't do it. Could not do it. So I literally was G-chatting my brother one day and he was like, Kelly, stay, you got this, it'll get better. And I was like, nope, not doing it. And literally the next day I put my 2 weeks in. So I quit, and I had no idea what I was gonna do, but I knew that if I wanted to do health and fitness, I had to get my foot in the door somewhere. So I started to work at Orange Theory. I had a girlfriend from college who was really successful there with losing some weight and just getting healthy, and I was like, you know what, I've never really like worked out like a lot, so I figured I would really try to take charge of my health. So therefore was in sales for about 4 or 5 months and decided to get certified nationally, and then also through Orange Theory to become a trainer. So I ended up being there for about 3 years in total, and that kind of took off my career in health and fitness, and I'm so grateful for that opportunity, because it just, again, it grew me even more as a professional, but also the connections that I've made, the following that I've had from those members, and the people I was able to interact with and impact on a daily basis was just like unnegotiable. It was one of the most impactful things I ever did. And I also was super grateful that it grew me out of my shell even more and gave me so many public speaking skills and all of that. So that's kind of how I started, and I just kind of evolved from there. And Health and Wellness sort of began during those years at Orange Theory because it was such a flexible schedule, and I had the time to be able to build a business, which, if any of you know what that's like, it is a whole full-time job in itself. So I needed that flexibility to be able to do what I do now. Okay, so are there any red flag ingredients that you would be careful of? So there's actually a lot. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I do not count calories, I do not count macros. My approach to business is purely, it's a lifestyle change. It's not a diet, you're not following guidelines or anything like that. You're truthfully making things accessible and easy for you long term, and again, preventing disease, really figuring out why you're doing what you're doing. And so part of that is discovering the quality of the food that you're consuming. And in my virtual grocery shopping tour that I did launch very recently, it does go through a lot of the red flag ingredients, such as natural flavors, carrageenan, caramel coloring, lots of different things that you might find in specific products that you're eating every single day, but you don't really realize that the ingredients are what's harming you. So maybe take some time to download that guide, read through it, and it comes with so much information that I worked hard to put together, and that will be something that I think would be more beneficial than me just spouting off words, because that actually provides more context as to why they're harmful, what products they're found in, and how to maybe help make some healthier substitutes. So check out that guide, and then if you still have questions, you can definitely ask me and I will answer them. Okay, when is my wedding date and what are my wedding colors? So we're getting married on March 7th. My fiance's name is Daniel. And another question was how we met, but we actually met at a bar in Buckhead. I was bartending. I bartended after school at a bar called Lost Dog Tavern, and he was bar backing because he worked bars in college too. And I just was doing it for fun. I always wanted to bartend and see what it was like, and then I also was just doing it for extra money at the time because I was at Orange Theory I went from a salary job to literally hourly, so I needed something. And yeah, we met and we ended up going on our first date, and that was 2017. So we've been together for 2 years, coming up in three will be May. But we'll be getting married in March. And let's see, our wedding colors are lavender, which is one of my favorite colors for me, and then he'll be wearing navy. So lavender, navy, and then rose gold is the other kind of color that'll be more in the decorations, some of them on our flowers and things like that. So very excited about that. It's coming up in like 40 something days, and just so ready to start that journey with Daniel and move forward in our next chapter of life. Okay, how did you know what to do to start your business? To be honest, it's been the biggest uphill and downhill road of my life. I really don't know. I would say the biggest thing is my support system. Daniel's been great, and my parents have been fabulous, and it's just been something that they know I'm passionate about, and so they've 100% are behind it. But thankfully, my parents have kind of navigated the entrepreneurial world a little bit, and so they were the ones that have encouraged me to, they knew how to create LLCs, and I have a bank checking account, and really make sure I have the right, a tax ID for my business, make sure that I know how to properly write off things so I can lower my tax footprint, all of that kind of stuff I never would have really known about unless my parents were there. So thankfully they were there for me and kind of guided me along the way. But in terms of building the business and what I wanted it to be, that was all me. I just really didn't know. I think at first you get so overwhelmed, you compare yourself a lot to what other people are doing, and it's hard. It's very hard to feel like you're doing what you really want to do. So I think really only recently when I went full time, I've had time to really sit down and reevaluate my approach to business, what I want out of it, and how I want to take clients and handle my processing and community aspect and all of that. And I think I'm finally feeling really confident about it, and blending it with Pursuit and Tie as well, because that is a huge part of my life as well, and it's so important, and it does connect to health and wellness in more ways than most people might think. So I think that's really the foundation, is just really finding your niche. What are you most passionate about? And don't do everything at once, because it's impossible. Do one thing at a time. So if you have a business, get your brand, get your logo, get your tagline or whatever, then get the brand or logo made, and then let's create a website. Let's secure that domain name. Let's get the LLC filed. Let's get a checking account, get an EIN, go ahead and then start maybe marketing with flyers or anything like that, then getting involved in community events, then anything that you can do, but just don't overload yourself. It's a process, it is a journey, it will take you a long time and a lot of hard work, but I promise that it'll be worth it. You just have to stay in your lane and stay consistent, and just let your passion shine through. If you're passionate about it, it will be successful, I promise. But just don't get discouraged. I've had many crying fests for no reason. I don't know why, but it's just very normal for you to feel discouraged, for you to feel like you're never gonna make it. But I promise you that you will, as long as you believe in yourself and fulfill the promises that you make to yourself. That's a big one. So I'd say that would be my business advice, which wasn't a question, but I formed it into one, and kind of how I started it. So, where are your favorite places to eat in Atlanta? Ooh, I truthfully make probably like 85% of my meals at home. I really, really love cooking at home. Daniel thankfully loves cooking too, so we make meals together a lot. And I love just knowing where the quality of my food and where it's coming from. So I've kind of over the course of the past few months really not eaten out so much. But if I do, I definitely love going out, and I love having a balance aspect, like I mentioned before. But I love True Food Kitchen is probably my number one, absolutely my favorite. I love Flower Child, I love Super Jenny, I love Kale Me Crazy, I love, let's see, there's Chopped Salad Bar, I love Zoe's Kitchen, there's things at Panera that I'll get every so often, and I love Chipotle. So, there's a wide variety of things that I'll eat. I love Mexican food. And at the end of the day, if I want to go out to eat at this point, I'm going to go out to eat and eat what I want. So, yeah, definitely. But again, if you're going to eat out, just try not to eat out every day. Really try to take care of yourself, and throughout the week, make things at home, eat fresh ingredients, and then when you go out, you at least you're not feeling guilty, you're not feeling restricted. You can enjoy it and have fun and feel good about it because you've been on track the rest of the time. So definitely eating out is a favorite, and if I have any other suggestions, I will be sure to let you know. What are your biggest pet peeves? I would say I have two that are like pretty big. First and foremost, if you're late, well, being late is like one thing, but then being late and not saying anything about it is another thing. Like, I'm actually a very punctual person, I like to think, but lately I've been like really late to stuff, and I don't know what it is, but I'll be like, oh, it takes 10 minutes, and then I'm like 5 or 10 minutes behind. But I do let people know, so I will say that. But if you're late and you're not like vocalizing that to people, I just think that that's rude, and you just can't do that. So yeah, I would say that's first. I'm huge on communication in any relationship, and I love confrontation. So definitely am all about communication, and like I would never be mad at somebody if they're running late. It's just like, it's fine, it's life, it happens. But I just want to know, just tell me, it's all good. And secondly, I would say if I'm in like a quiet space, like if I'm at church on a Sunday, or if I'm in like a conference room listening to a speech or something, and there's people close to me that are just yapping on and it's so loud and they're just pretending like no one else is in the room, that just drives me crazy. I don't know why, but it's just like so frustrating to me. Go outside and have your little chat, you know, like, or like people on the phone that are just like talking like this to everybody in the room, and I'm like, we don't care. So I don't know. Those are my pet peeves. I'd probably say it would be like my top 2. I'm sure there's more. We all have like a million, but yeah. I want to know, what are your pet peeves? Let's see, how did I get started taking clients? So with my business, which originally was just a straight up Instagram page called Oh Kell, yeah, I know. My friends were like, Kelly, they didn't really shit on the name at all, but it kind of sucked. So I ended up changing that, and my little brother actually came up with Health and Kellness. But I was like, well, if I can make a business out of this with coaching clients, personal training, health coaching, whatever, I definitely want to rebrand and make it something more memorable. So Health and Kellness came about. But to be honest, taking clients just kind of started from the get-go. Thankfully, with my immersion in the fitness industry with Orange Theory, some clients came from old members, so they had reached out to me and they just kind of wanted to know, you know, my take on it. And of course, I had built my processes a lot since the beginning, but I really kind of always had somebody in the mix, whether it was training or something online or virtual that I was able to interact with. But truthfully, if I hadn't gotten out in the community and if I hadn't networked with people that I had, you know, spent time in the industry, people who would really benefit from the services, I don't know what I would have done. So I really, really highly recommend, for those of you trying to build a business, or, you know, especially in the health coaching sector, to really, really get out there and network with people, because in-person connections are invaluable. You really have no idea how important they are until they're gone, which I guess they're never gone, but really, really put emphasis on meeting people in person, getting to know them, and it will pay off, I promise. So following into that is, what exactly do I do? Well, my business, Health and Kellness, is strictly personal training. I do health coaching, and then I also do online coaching, which is basically personal training, but in a virtual format where I'm not physically with you, but I send you workouts and we do all that kind of stuff. And then I also have ebooks, online resources, and I'm getting back into planning events. So I'm definitely very interested in the community aspect of health and really involving and impacting as many people as possible versus just a one-on-one interaction. But I am certified as a personal trainer. I did go back and get another certification after I left Orange Theory. And then I'm also a certified health coach, which a health coach, for those of you that don't know, in my opinion, is somebody who is basically like the person that holds your hand through the changes that you're making in your lifestyle. So if you're talking with a dietitian or a nutritionist or something about a meal plan, and then there's yourself over here, the health coach is kind of in the middle to kind of be a liaison for you and allow you to have that accountability that you need and the daily motivation that you need to keep you on track. Now, I'm not saying dietitians and nutritionists don't do that, but I think health coaches specifically kind of dive a little deeper into your whole lifestyle, like sleep and wellness and, you know, your stress and how you have a connection with food, whether you have an emotional connection or not. Your relationships, just like everything, versus just here's your meal plan, go do it. So I really love impacting people in a holistic way, and that's really what the health coaching side is. I work really closely with my clients. I have PowerPoint presentations that I go through so that they can all learn visually, and we have grocery shopping tours that are included. I even walk through, break down specific food groups so that you're able to understand exactly what you're doing and why you're doing it. And I really, really focus on education. My biggest thing is I want to give you the resources that you need so that you're successful without me having to be there for the rest of your life. So that's kind of my goal. I do offer a free consultation, so if you ever want to talk to me just about your goals or anything regarding fitness or health, I'm one call away. Go to my website and schedule a contact call, and I would love to chat with you. But I also own another business with my older brother, Ryan, Pursuit and Tie, which we do professional development. So we do basically anything with resume, cover letter, LinkedIn, interview, all the stuff that no one teaches you in school. And my brother is literally a resume guru. He is amazing. So we started this business to basically get students prepped outside of college. And it relates to wellness in a lot of ways, because if you're not happy in your 9-to-5 job, like I was in the past, you really can't achieve total wellness because you're stressed, you're miserable, you take it out on other people, you can't really enjoy life or find positivity in the little things in life. It just all adds up. So really, if you're not enjoying your job, let me know too, and we can talk with you and get your resume reviewed for free. So, are you ever unmotivated or uninspired to work out or eat healthy? Absolutely. Especially right now in the winter when the sun sets at like 4 o'clock and then it doesn't come up until like 11 o'clock the next day. So there's like no time in between to do anything that makes you feel productive. But especially, I'm definitely way more motivated in the summer. But with the winter and with the wedding coming up, I've definitely wanted to stay on track with my goals and all of that. But for sure, there are days when I sit on the couch, I do nothing, watch TV all day, or I take full rest days and I'm not at the gym, or I don't go at all. So there's a total balance with it. I truly believe in balance and like flexibility, and you got to go with what your life throws at you every day. You can't have such a set structure. You really can try to make things work, and again, have your specific things you want to really focus in on and your non-negotiables, but you got to be prepared for life to hit you, and sometimes things don't work out the way they want to. So absolutely, I love pizza, I love burgers, I love ice cream, I absolutely let's see, all that stuff. So yes, I 100% have those moments. What is one piece of business advice you can offer? I would say the biggest piece of business advice that I've learned over the past 3 years now, really, is to not be afraid to take risks. Whether that is quitting your corporate job to, do origami full time, to travel the world, taking a risk to move to a new city, taking a risk to try a new job you've never had before, start your own business, anything in life that you want to do it. You have one life to live, one. And I've realized that it's so precious, and it's just, you literally miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So if you don't even try, how are you gonna know? So, just from me quitting my job, going from a salaried position to an hourly $10 an hour position, having to sacrifice a lot of things in my life. I've had definite moments of crying and just total, have been lost. I've just wondered if I'm doing the right thing. But at the end of the day, I know that I'm doing what I love, and I know it's worth it. But also those risks have been the only thing that have grown me so much, have gotten me out of my comfort zone, have taught me to really find friends and people in your life that will support you, and that, won't hold on to little grudges, and will forgive you and just support you no matter what you do. And so it's just, don't be afraid to get out of your comfort zone. Don't be afraid to do things you've never done before, or go to an event you've never, have gone to before but you've always wanted to, or get a certification, or anything. It really doesn't matter, but find something in your life that, is calling your name, and go do it. Because as sad as it could be, you might not be here tomorrow and you'll never have known about it. So I hate to be that terribly depressing, but it's kind of the truth. So hey, go for it. I guarantee you that you will do a 1,000-time amazing job at whatever it is, and you won't regret it. So go take risks. Okay, so how do I stay motivated to take care of my body? I stay motivated because, again, I grew up I played sports, and I did soccer, I have played tennis, I've been very active, but I was never somebody who was a gym guru, and I was so nervous to go to the gym. I never wanted to go to the gym. I never wanted people to see me sweat. I was so uncomfortable with my body. I've always been petite, but I've never been strong, or I was never fit. I was just small and skinny. And while that's, some people's preference, I was truthfully wanting to get stronger, and at Orange Theory, I was finally immersed in a culture that was just very, it was just very welcoming. I had an amazing head coach who was so inspiring and pushed me to really get out of my comfort zone. And so really just started getting involved and just started getting out of my comfort zone a little bit with that. And now it's honestly just, it's a habit, it's a lifestyle, and I do it every day because it makes me feel really good. It makes me have more energy. It makes me way less stressed out. My relationships are healthier. I'm healthier. There's so many positives to just maintaining a healthy lifestyle and just having an active fitness life. But fitness isn't just about the way you look. It's not about your image. It's not about having a six-pack. It's about the way you feel, and it's just healthy for you overall. Think about it like in terms of prevention. You're doing these things to prevent long-term issues in the future. And anything that you do today will affect you later on. So it's very important that you take control and really try to prioritize those things. So really that's what I want it to be for. I want to be as healthy as possible for my future family, for my kids. I want to be able to, run around and play with them. And if we're moving houses, I want to be able to help my husband move boxes and unpack things. And, I don't need to depend on anybody. And that's just really what motivates me every day to get up. So find your why. You probably hear that all the time. What is your why? What is your why you're doing what you're doing? And that, put it on your mirror, write it up somewhere, and look at it every day. And that hopefully will motivate you to continue with your goals. And also find an accountability partner. If you're in a relationship or you're married or you have a best friend, whatever, but find somebody to do it with you or to push you and to keep you accountable, because that is the only thing that really, you're human. You're gonna probably mess up. You're gonna probably find unmotivation and find ways to quit. But if you have somebody else there with you along the way, it's a lot harder to give up. So that's kind of how I do that. Okay, so really that was kind of the main questions. I kind of went through them all, but that's kind of me in a nutshell. I definitely love what I do. It's not an easy process. I have been through some serious ups and downs with being an entrepreneur. It is not easy, but I do love it, and it's been an enjoyable ride, and I'm excited for the future. But if you ever have any questions about business or about, how to even start an LLC or anything like that, or, anything, I just don't even know. I would love to be a resource for you. Please email me or DM me or anything and use me as a resource, because if I can prevent you from making the same mistakes that I did, I would definitely like to do that. So I hope that was helpful. I really enjoy and appreciate your support all the time, and I hope this page has been inspiring to you, motivating, and I hope to get to meet all of you in person one day if I haven't already. But again, that's really it. This is the 3rd episode of the Beet, and I will see you next time.